Hey guys, my name is Danielle. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about book series that I am always recommending. Without fail, every time someone asks me for a book recommendation, I'm always mentioning one, if not all of these books. As readers, many of us are often asked for book recommendations, and sometimes I find them very daunting because I'm always nervous that I'm going to recommend something to someone and they're not going to like it. And I don't know about you guys, but I tend to be very protective over things that I really love. So for me, sometimes when I'm recommending TV shows or music or books or anything, I'm always afraid that people not liking it is going to be kind of like a reflection of me, because I don't know if this makes any sense, but I feel like I put so much of my time, effort, and myself into the things that I love that if somebody doesn't like it, it feels like they don't like me, which is ridiculous and crazy, but I think it's part of being a fangirl. When it comes to books, I definitely still try and get people to read my favorites because I just want them to enjoy this amazing thing that I've discovered and this amazing thing that I love. So I'm always trying to get people to read books that I love. So for this video, I ended up narrowing it down to 4 series that I'm always recommending to people. I had to look at my shelves and I had to think about it, and it really didn't take much reflection because these titles stand out to me immediately. I'm always talking about them. If you ask anybody on my Bookstagram what my top favorite series are, these titles will likely come up. So it's no surprise to anyone. But I figured it would be fun to document it for YouTube and to just talk about it, because who knows, maybe one day I'll look back and they won't be my favorite series anymore. Who knows? Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So to begin, we're going to talk about a series that everybody knows me for, everybody knows I love. It's just become part of my brand and part of who I am. And I will die on this hill. I will die on this fandom hill. That series is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. If you follow me on Instagram or any social media platform, or if you've ever seen a picture of my bookshelf, you probably figured out that I love Cassandra Clare and that I'm a huge fan of her. So in terms of what I'm always recommending, it's not necessarily just the Mortal Instruments or just the Infernal Devices. It's always just the Shadowhunters series or the Shadowhunters books in general. I'm always recommending Shadowhunters books to people because this is a series that took me by storm. It's something that came into my life at just the right time, and it's something that will stay with me for my life, and it's something I will read for the rest of my life. As long as she's willing to put out books, I will be in line to buy them. I will read them. So at this point, I feel like everybody knows what the Mortal Instruments is or knows what it's about. But if you don't know what the Mortal Instruments is about, City of Bones is about a girl named Clary Frey who on her birthday goes out to a club with her best friend Simon. At this club, Clary witnesses a murder by 3 teenagers with strange markings. And the oddest part about this is that after she witnesses the murder that nobody else can see, she gets a phone call from her mother begging her not to come home. When Clary returns home to find her house ransacked, she also finds that her mother has seemingly disappeared. And then she herself is attacked by a demon. Within 24 hours, her entire world is turned upside down, and she has no idea why all of a sudden demons are interested in attacking her, and the Shadowhunters that save her have no idea why all of a sudden a mundane has the sight, and they want to know why. It is literally the best series to me, in my opinion. Like, is it perfect? No. Do people not like it? Yes. But it came into my life at just the right time. My favorite kind of book is urban fantasy, which this of course is, and it's that idea of a book that could take place in our world and we just can't see it. So in this book, we're mundane, so we just don't have the ability to see the Shadowhunters or to see the demons or to see the Downworlders. And I just love that aspect because I can just be going about my day and imagine that somewhere out there's a Shadowhunter that's protecting me and I just don't see it. But this series is fantastic. Cassandra Clare is still writing books in this series. She has the main series, which is the Mortal Instruments, the prequel series, which is the Infernal Devices, the sequel series, which is the Dark Artifices, and she's now writing a sequel series to the prequel series and a sequel series to the sequel series, as well as novellas. It's a series that you can literally get wrapped up in forever. I always recommend it to people. People always ask me what the reading order is, and for that, I am going to be making a video. I promise it's coming. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can always send me a message and I'll answer them, or you can go to Cassandra Clare's website and see what she recommends. So the next series that I'm always recommending to people is The Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. This is a series that came into my life in the last few years, and it is a series that swept me away and took me by storm. I did not expect to like this book series as much as I did, but here we are, and I'm obsessed with it, and I am almost done with the sequel series Bloodlines. I have one more book, and I am so sad because I just don't want it to end. So I've now talked about the Vampire Academy in 2 separate videos, but if you haven't heard of the Vampire Academy, essentially it follows Rose Hathaway and Lissa Dragomir. Rose is what is known as a Dhampir, and Lissa is a vampire, and the Dhampirs are charged with protecting the vampires. What a Dhampir is a Dhampir is a half vampire, half human, and they have a little bit of extra human strength, and they are very good in combat, and they are trained to protect the vampires. So Lissa and Rose go to school together at a vampire academy. And Lissa is actually a royal vampire. So when Lissa starts receiving threats at the school that become more than just jokes, Rose and Lissa end up fleeing the school and running away to try and survive on their own. But as the threats ensue, they start to realize that there is something building outside of the school that neither of them could have expected that is much more dangerous than your average high school threats. And this book series is so good, and I was obsessed with the movie as well. I think the movie was perfectly cast. I wish that it had gotten a chance to have a second movie. Honestly, I seriously do. A lot of people get tripped up on this series because they'll start the first book and it comes across as very juvenile and very corny, but what I like to try and tell people is that's the point. You're reading about 2 girls and their high school experience, and you're reading about them before they have any idea of what else is going on outside of their school and the bigger threat that is coming. So you are as naive as both of them, and the story is just going to build and build and build, and I'm telling you, the way that book 2 starts, it is a completely different novel, and it completely changes everything going forward, and the books just build and build on there. And same with the sequel series. I'm actually finding the sequel series to be the exact same, and I think that Rochelle Mead is so fantastic with world building, but she's so good with characters and relationships. The romance in these books are fantastic. The friendships in these books are so good. I will literally probably be recommending this book for the rest of my life. And I definitely want to do a reread soon because I was so obsessed with this series. And now that I'm wrapping up on the sequel series, I want to go back to the beginning and back to the start and see all my favorites. If you haven't picked up The Vampire Academy, you are definitely missing out. I am telling you, pick it up as soon as you can. The next book that I'm always talking about and always recommending is the Kiss of Deception series by Mary E. Pearson. This series, like, chef's kiss. I actually picked up this series because I was obsessed with the cover. The cover of this book drew me in, and I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but this is the one instance that I'm so grateful for it because look how gorgeous this cover is. This series is 3 books long, and it follows a girl named Leah. Leah is 17. She's the first daughter of the House of Morrigan. She's a princess, and she is part of a kingdom that is steeped in tradition. Leah is about to marry someone that she has never met before, just to solidify a political alliance. So on the day of her wedding, she decides to flee. In an attempt to pursue a new life, Leah flees to a neighboring village. But what she doesn't expect is to be pursued by both a bounty hunter that her father has sent after her and the prince she scorned. Now, if that synopsis does not pull you in, I don't know what will, but this book is fantastic. There is a twist in here that you will never see coming. No matter who you are, I don't care. You will never see it coming. This series builds and builds and builds, and it is one of the best examples I can give for fantastic world building. You will never see the direction of this book coming. You will never see where the series goes. It is phenomenal. It is one of the best book series I've ever read, and it is something that I will praise for the rest of my life. And the last book series that I want to talk about today is one that I discovered most recently out of the rest of them, and that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I have no words. I have no words for this because it's perfect. It's perfect. It's everything I've ever wanted. If you haven't heard of A Curse So Dark and Lonely, A Curse So Dark and Lonely is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling that has been done so right. This is by far the best retelling I have ever read in my life, and I think that Bridget will remain with that title. I think that she will keep that title. It is bar none. It blew me away. I devoured this book. So we all know the story of Beauty and the Beast, right? Fall in love and break the curse. But this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling with twists that are so cool. So the first twist in this book is on the curse. The curse itself happens seasonally. So every season it resets itself. And of course we are to a point in the story where the person who put the curse upon the land is now telling the prince that this is his last season and his last chance to find love and break the curse, or he's cursed to be a monster for the rest of his life. What's really exciting about this book is that when they go to pick a girl to break the curse, they can pick a girl in the kingdom, or they can pick a girl from our world, which is exactly what happens. Our girl Harper is going about her day when she witnesses another girl being essentially kidnapped. So Harper steps in and defends the girl and doesn't realize what's going on, because how could you know what's going on? And she herself is taken even though she wasn't supposed to be the girl that was selected. So after trying to save this stranger on the street, Harper is thrust into the magical world of Emberfall and has seemingly no way of getting back. So one of my favorite parts about this book, aside from the twists on the retelling that are so well done, aside from the world building that is so expansive and so intriguing and so enticing, besides the characters that are so lovable and so real and so raw, I love the fact that Bridget also wrote in here really strong representation for cerebral palsy. And in the back of the book, Bridget even says, in A Curse So Dark and Lonely, the protagonist Harper has cerebral palsy. Much like real-world individuals who have CP, she is not defined by the condition. Instead, it's something that is part of her daily life. I strove to create a girl who is strong, resilient, and capable, not in spite of any physical challenges she might face, but in addition to them. As Harper tells Ren, cerebral palsy affects everyone differently. Capabilities will vary from person to person. So her story is that, just a story. Harper's experience may not be reflective of all people with CP, but hopefully her determination and tenacity will be relatable to everyone. I encourage readers to learn more about cerebral palsy at www.cerebralpalsy.com. I love that Bridget put representation in this book that, number one, we normally don't see, but number two, it's not something that Harper suffers from. It's just a piece of her. And I love that she does it in such a way too that is very empowering. This book overall blew my mind. I picked it up expecting to kind of like it or like it, but I didn't expect it to take over my world. So A Curse So Dark and Lonely is the first book in the series. The second book is A Heart So Fierce and Broken, and the third one is coming out January 2021, and it's called A Vow So Bold and Deadly. When I'm telling you this book series absolutely destroyed me, I'm telling you the utmost truth. I am now forever ride or die for these characters. I love the world that Bridget built. Fun fact, Bridget actually lives near me. She lives in Maryland and I live in Pennsylvania, so I've actually seen her at quite a few author signings, and for whatever reason, like I'm telling you, I don't know the reason. I tell my friends this all the time. For whatever reason, every single time I meet Bridget, I just can't speak. I can't speak. Like, that's how much I like her. She has skyrocketed to one of my all-time favorite authors out of seemingly nowhere. I just discovered her a year ago. Every time I meet her, she's so nice. Every time I meet her, she knows who I am. She's like, "Hi, Danielle," and I'm just like, "Hello." Yeah, it's so frustrating because I'm like, Bridget, I promise, like, I'm normal, but here I am. I just can't speak. I can't speak around her. It's fine. It's fine. So those are the books that I'm always recommending to people. If any of you have read these books or feel the same way that I do, please let me know. I am down to have fangirl discussions with you about all the things. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're reading amazing books, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.